Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
What if there was a resource you could turn to answer the questions that you have about the aging process? And even better yet, what if it was written by someone who is an expert when it comes to longevity? Well, the answer is your wait is almost over. As Aging Sucks and the Guesswork, There Is Hope, the new hot book that is coming on the market July 3rd or 4th. We'll see. It's by Red O'Loughlin. Let's check in with him. This is his show, The Corner Bookstore. But today I get the pleasure of interviewing my dear friend. Let's welcome Red to the program. Hi, Red.
Howdy. That was quite a sexy opening. I really enjoyed that one.
Thank you. Maybe they'll keep me around here for a little while longer.
No, I was listening to it. Whoa, that's pretty impressive. Anyway, July 4th is the day of the actual publishing. I'm going to try to make my best thing happen today. Today's the 30 days out. I want to get my, what do you call it? When you pre-launch, not pre-launch. You can pre-order. That's it, pre-order.
Pre-order. We're talking about this book, Aging Sucks and the Guesswork, There Is Hope. By the way, this is a fabulous, dynamic cover. So let's dive right in. Tell us why it is that you have written this book.
About 10 years ago, I came up with the concept of Aging Sucks, and I got a URL. It wasn't a .com, but it was a something US, I'm not sure. And the thing has always been in the back of my mind when we talk about aging. I'm going to say my personal survey, about 19 out of 20 people, 95%, all of them say, yeah, aging sucks. But I run across that occasional individual who's quite happy with where they are for a number of reasons, even if they have a malady or whatever. But for most of us, we don't know why we age. We don't know what really works to stop it. And so things happen to us, and then all of a sudden, here we are. We're looking old. We have, turtlenecks and arms that hang down, and wrinkles here, there, and yonder, and gray hair, white hair, no hair. It's just things happen, and wouldn't it be nice to know what's really going on? Dr. Jacalyn, if you were aware of what is happening inside us, inside your body, and I think you are because of some recent tests you were telling me about, then you would expect to see either gradual improvement or certainly no degradation. And that's what this book is about. It's awareness. What actually is happening and what can you do about it?
That's a great way to sum it up, Red. Thank you very much. And what I think is so interesting is that at least in the United States, and I'm sure other parts of the world, it's almost like getting older is not sexy. It's not hot. It's not something we want to do. So we'll pay almost any amount of money to inject poison into our system so our face doesn't move, or get our face cut off and plastered back so that we look younger. So who is your target market for this book?
Well, before I tell you that, I think a lot of the Asian companies, they respect that age that happens, because you look at just their culture. I mean, I spent a lot of time in Korea, and there's a certain expression. You say, hi, how are you? But if it's an older person or more distinguished, then it's a slightly different, it's a more honorific greeting. And we don't generally have that here in the U.S. When we get old, you're old. Sometimes we're distinguished, but even when you look at movie stars and athletes and things, my goodness, they put on weight, they put on this, whatever it may happen to be. Very few of them look really good in their 70s and 80s compared to and that's kind of our expectation. So we see it, we're inundated by it, and I forgot your question.
My question was, who is the audience for your book?
I have several primary audience. My primary audience is women over 55 to 75. Why? Because at that point in time in their lives, they're usually empty nesters. Their kids have moved on and starting their own families. And if they're 55, their parents are probably still alive, and they're starting to see a major degradation in their parents' health. And they're thinking to themselves, I'm almost at the end of my work career. I can see the horizon, the light at the end of the tunnel. I see my parents. I don't want to be like my parents. And so they start having some inward inspection of their, what can I do? And they start going to YouTube, or they go to Google, or they see on social media, take this pill and everything, becomes magic. And so that's my primary one is women over 55. Because I think they're more interested in health and longevity than when they were 45. Yeah, they're interested, but not to the same degree. They're not seeing the same things. When you have kids at home or transitioning, or you still have another 20 years at work, it's just not quite the same priority. And then you obviously have the younger generation who are very health conscious. They go to the gym often. They may be vegan, they may be vegetarian, they may not eat meat. There's a lot of things that they do to be healthy. And so those are the two primary audiences that I have. There's a couple other ancillary ones, but those are the ones that are primary that I market to.
I understand. I'm actually in that market and in that age demographic. So, Red, you've already written a number of books. Why did you say to yourself, you know what, let me write one more, which might be the most pronounced book that you've written so far?
Well, Aging Sucks, I think, has a good, clear message. And the subtitle took a long time. I mean, I had a several day conversation with my AI. I finally got my AI trained after about a year of initial 2-page prompt and then slapping upside the face. No, that's not what I want. I want this and this. And anyway, we finally come to a really good working relationship. And that's something that I think almost anybody who's using AI needs to have, is a good person to brainstorm with. And so we had, I'm going to say probably at least 15 or 20, probably more than that, subtitles. But there wasn't a promise in the subtitle. And so we come up to one, okay, fine. But that's not what this book is about. And the guesswork. Okay, that's the awareness part of it. Because if you know what's going on inside your body, then maybe you can do something about it. Well, there's hope. That's the promise that there is something you can do about it. And the book itself gives you the almost, I'm going to say, education. It's more awareness. I really didn't dive too deep into it. I try to keep it primarily at about a 7th grade level. I have some technical terms in there I can't get away from, but I do have a lot of what I call plain English. So I have a term, it's a scientific term, and I have plain English. And so that's what I try to do. Like any place there's a word that has let's say not a common word for most of us, I'll usually put in parenthesis a little breakdown to make it easier for people to read. Also put about 4,000 bullets in the book. I find that when you read something and it's bulletized, it's a whole lot easier to understand than when you're trying to discern it from a paragraph. So I try to make this thing as easy as possible to understand and to follow.
You and I have talked many times about the importance of the cover. And this cover, as we've been showing so far throughout the program, is really dynamic. It stands out for many reasons. What actually was the process for you to come to accept that this was the one you knew, and you said there's no more guesswork, literally, for the book cover?
Well, you and I have talked in the past. One of my primary things over the last 10 years of writing books is I'll put out on social media, A or B, B or C, C or D. I'll get 5 or 6 different ebook covers done because they're very inexpensive. And I'll say, okay, is this better than this one? And I try to rely on the readers of my books to give me a good feedback. If you look over the shoulder, you'll see a book that is The Joy of Ageless Health. That book cover is an old book cover, but when I put that one out, that was my least favorite. Everyone loved it. The only comment they made was make the coffee cup bigger. And so maybe I was jaded a little bit. I don't know, but I've come to rely on readers. And I know our conversation says, it's your book. It's your decision. And so I think part of what happened was that you forced me really into having a very heartful conversation with AI with regard to what do I really want? And I think you even suggested having the age across the top. And so we had that part was pretty good, but we still had a lot of problems. And I'm saying me and my AI, with what is the promise of the book? What is really there that's going to capture somebody to say, okay, we agree, aging sucks. No problem with that. But what are you promising me by reading this book? And so I think in the guesswork, and then there is hope, adds to that dimension that it's just not all bad. There's actually something good that can come out of it. And that's how they develop. Now I'm looking at a series. In fact, I'm looking at my next book called Pain Sucks. And then I'm looking at Dementia Sucks. I'm looking at Heart Disease Sucks. So I'm looking at a quote sucks series of things that are really and truly, they are pains in our butt when we get older and have even when you're younger and you have a disease. But whether it's diabetes or something else, it just makes our lives uncomfortable sometimes. We have to really watch what we're doing. And maybe we don't have to.
Well, I can definitely agree with you that dementia sucks. I'm going 100% in on that one. So, yeah, I do love the cover, and I love the fact that it reflects, again, I'm going to bring it up. It just reflects, it's provocative. It draws you in. And as you know, if someone's in a bookstore and they are in a certain department and they're looking through things, that book cover itself can sell the entire book. So once people open the book, what are they going to find?
There are several things. I wrote a book 10 years ago called Longevity Secrets for Healthy Aging. It's one in the top right-hand corner that you're looking at right now on the screen. And I looked at two principal causes of aging that I found back then, went into a lot of detail. Well, it turns out that about the same time that I was writing that book, the powers that be in the medical and research fields decided that they really needed to isolate what are the fundamental causes of aging. And they put them into what's called the hallmarks of aging. There's 12. There's originally 8, and there's 12. One of the ones that I have in my book, Longevity Secrets, is called human growth hormone. And they came back and they said, yeah, we've known about it for 30 years, but it's more of an indicator, not a fundamental cause. And so when I looked at the 12 causes of aging, and my whole premise in this book is simply one, balance. Every second of every day, every cell in our body has some level of attack. Damage is occurring primarily because of these 12 individual but interrelated causes of aging. And so each of these things is causing some level of damage in our brain, our hearts, our lungs, our kidneys, all over. But we also have another set of hallmarks called the hallmarks of health. There's 8 of them. But there's one extra one that deals with psychosocial issues that's on the cusp of being added. And so now we have these 8 hallmarks of health that are really the repair mechanisms in our body. So you have a battle on one side of damage, you have a battle on the other side of repair. So long as repair is greater than the damage, you're going to live a healthy life. That's what happens. But the minute that the damage overpowers the repair, now we start having issues. We have an increased risk of disease. We have accelerated aging. A lot of things are going on. And so you always have a balance. With COVID, you had people with multiple issues. Some didn't do well. Some ended up with long-term problems. Some never even saw a symptom and made it through because their repair mechanisms are so strong it fought off the disease. They didn't even have symptoms. I caught it twice. I had symptoms for a couple, 3 or 4 days, and I was done. But and I don't think that was atypical. I think most people who came down with COVID once or twice, I had it twice, and my wife, and they'll generally have something 3, 4, 5, 6 days, and it's gone. And I think in most cases, you have a problem, runny nose, sore throat, cough, and if it's not gone in a week, you say maybe I need to see the doctor. And so that week, that 7, 8, 10 days kind of seems to be that medium time when if I can't take care of it myself, either with healthy living or some kind of pill, I just got over a cold. And one of the things that, scratchy throat, that causes a cough, it causes nasal running. And, one of the things I like is chlorpheniramine. It's a chemical in certain drugs that you buy at the pharmacy. And boy, just like that, it dries it up. I'm a happy camper, and I'm not drugged the next morning when I wake up. So there's some things that work very well, but it takes a while to figure out what those are. But for us, for aging, I have the hallmarks of aging, which creates disease. I have the hallmarks of health, which are the repair mechanisms. But I also included in there a section on pathways of disease, because if we understand how disease progresses and how these hallmarks interact with each other, and if it gets beyond that repair stage, what happens and what can you do? And then I have what I call the core section. What are the things that actually help you repair or cause damage? And ironically, Dr. Jacalyn, it's the exact same thing. And I think we're getting ready to go to commercial break here. So I'm going to let the break happen. Then we're going to come back and I'm going to tell you what are those things that actually cause damage and at the same time create repair capacity.
All right. We'll follow your lead. We'll be right back. People are searching for experts every day. Are they finding you, or are they finding someone else? Every day, professionals are building authority through media. We've already built the platform. USA Global TV and Radio. Over 14,000 shows streamed to over 60 countries. This isn't about becoming famous. It's about leverage, visibility, credibility, opportunity. One interview, one conversation, one show, repurposed into content, connection, and business growth. Most people assume hosting a TV show requires a studio, a production team, and a massive budget. Our television packages begin at $1,500 US per month. Professional production, global distribution, replay visibility, built for voices with something to say. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and if this resonates with you, we should talk. USA Global TV and Radio, all rights reserved. Contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Welcome back to, I was going to say, Aging Sucks. Aging Sucks here on the Corner Bookstore. If you're just joining us, take a gander at this dynamic book cover, sexy, hot, all the information you need, and the guesswork. There is hope. Joining me is the author and the host of this show, Mr. Red O'Loughlin. Welcome back.
Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. I promised you before the commercial break I'd give you the solution to what causes damage and what actually increases your repair capability. And it's 4 simple things. It's called lifestyle choices. It's actually more than 4, but there's 4 primary ones. You have your diet or your nutrition aspect of things. If your diet's pretty good, you're going to be pretty healthy. If you're missing a lot of different nutrients that the body needs, it can't perform its job. Then when it can't perform its job, damage is going to occur. One that surprised me how important it was is exercise. Exercise is a lifestyle choice. Some of us choose to sit on a couch and exercise by lifting that 3-ounce remote and changing channels. But exercise does several things. It gets more oxygen flowing through the body. But more importantly, the main power grid of your body is called the mitochondria. And when you exercise, you're actually causing cells to grow new mitochondria. So if you came out with, 50,000 watt TV station, and then all of a sudden these mitochondria, because of your exercise, now you're 75,000 watt station, now 100,000 watt, because all of a sudden you're creating more energy in the body. And that energy is the leverage that allows repairs to happen. When your energy levels are very, very low because your mitochondria are challenged, you're not getting the repair capability that you need. Sleep is probably one of the most important things because repair occurs during sleep. It occurs when you're in your deepest sleep. That's when everything actually starts to happen. Your brain actually starts to open up a little bit, and the fluids in the brain actually start to flow down just your lymphatic system. So you're getting rid of toxins, you're getting rid of just debris and things. And all of a sudden now you're starting to get all of the repair mechanisms, your muscles, organ, anything that needs repair occurs during sleep. So if you're not getting a good, say 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever, of good quality sleep, then the repairs aren't being affected when they need to be. And probably the last one, but also probably even more important than all the other three, is stress, because stress is interwoven in all of them. And if you're not managing your stress, it's just, you've seen me on previous shows. It's not the stress, it's what you reach out, grab a hold of, and you won't let go. That's a stress that becomes a problem. Now, we have two different kinds of stress. We have the stress of, we have a deadline on the show today. We have a deadline to get a good guest. We have deadlines. Those are acute stresses. You go to the gym, you work out. That's an acute stress. You want to learn something new and you have something. I have a publishing deadline, July 4th. Okay. These stresses actually cause a little damage in the body, but the body accepts them because it's part of a growing process. So you have damage, you have repair, you have recovery, you have adaptation, and then you have a stronger system. So if you go to the gym and you start lifting weights, and your bicep is 13 inches and you're doing this for months, and now all of a sudden it's 14 inches or 14 and a half or 15, you're seeing a result of this acute stress as part of a building process to make you stronger. So stress interweaves with sleep, it interweaves with diet and exercise. And so I think it's probably the most important because of its overall arching interconnections with everything there. And if you're not doing at least some kind of stress management, exercise is a great one, but there are a lot of other ones too. And so those are the four things. If you're not doing them well, you're going to increase damage. If you're doing them well, you're going to increase your repair capability. So you want to keep repair greater than damage. And that's kind of the secret to the book.
Chock full of information for all of us. I'd love to talk a little bit about the marketing process that you've been using, because you started marketing this early. Many times people write a book and they wait until the last minute. So tell us what you've done in terms of your marketing plan.
On most of my guests, I ask them on this show, book authors, I ask them when did they start their marketing, and almost 100% will say when the book was done. And I'm saying to them, I said, had you started marketing the day you put pencil to pen or finger to keyboard, now you have two trains going down a parallel track. I'm writing the book, I'm telling people about what's happening in the book, and you're getting the word out. You're not wasting those months or even a year of time letting people know. But the marketing aspect is also an accountability aspect, because here's this book. I promised my book out July 4th. I have a deadline. I have to meet that for a number of reasons. But when I'm marketing the book, I decided this time, what happens if I market the book 3 months earlier than I start writing? I put a line in the sand, April 26th. That's when I'm going to write the book. And somewhere in late January, I believe I started marketing. I was doing research. Okay, let's share this information with the world. And so I'm sharing. I'm going to all different social medias and my website and other places to post articles. And I'm providing value and urgency in the fact that this book's coming out. If you want to know more and more about this, be on the lookout for this thing. So I'm hoping that being able to have that pre-order date available later today or tomorrow at the latest, then I will now be able to say you can pre-order. But the urgency and the marketing really has to be, I'm going to be saying, before you write the book, start marketing it, because it's a really good accountability partner, but you're also forcing yourself to keep yourself on schedule to get the book done. And a lot of the feedback I got very early on was, when's the book coming out? Can't wait to buy it. So I got a lot of good feedback from a lot of different sources. And that's what I did for this book.
And you also created a number of short videos that you've been using on social media. You've got over, what is it, 1,000 or 1,500 blog posts?
I have over 1,500 blogs and over 1,000 original content articles on LinkedIn. LinkedIn allows you to put a post or an article. And so it may be the exact same thing and you put it there as a post, but the article, I think, is a stronger message. But yes, I'm using a couple different video AI options. Both of them were initially free. I think I'm paying now on both of them because of more capacity, but I can take I go to my chat GPT and Dr. Jacalyn, I say, give me 45-second video presentation, and here are the key points that I want to have made. So boom, and you know how fast chat GPT is, it's there. And I take a look at it. Okay, no, change it a little bit, tweak it this. I don't like that. And so you get it. So in 2-3 minutes, you have something down to literally a 40-second or plus or minus video presentation. I then take it over. One of the ones I use is called hypernatural.ai. Hypernatural, I insert it into the place where it needs to go. I select who that person is that's going to be giving my video presentation. I've used several different ones. And boom, in less than 3, 4, 5 minutes at most, it creates a 40-second video. And then I get the video, put it out there on Facebook or Instagram or wherever I put it. And so the videos become very simple. Now, once I started writing, I literally today, I wrote the book. Everything worked out well. Had to change a couple things, tweak things. I got down to the part about pathways of disease, and it wasn't telling me about pathways. It was telling me more about hallmarks. And so we had a chat, and I, okay, this is not what I want. And I finally get to a point when you may find this funny, Dr. Jacalyn, but a year and a half, 2 years ago, when I first said, chat, edit this thing for me, it was like 20-page chapter. I got back 2 paragraphs. It edited it as summary. Now I'm having things where I say, what do you think of this? And he says, I don't like that word. It's a bit old fashioned. Or it says, what you're saying is correct, but it's not flowing with the rest of everything before and after. Or if you change this, and you're not going to have people saying, well, what about this? Or what about that? So so I'm getting a lot of good feedback back and forth in an editing process by which I now have a brainstorming expert in that field. And I said, okay, well, why didn't you tell me this or whatever? And we go back and forth. I'll spend at least an hour a day, particularly during this editing phase. I've gone through all the edits. I'm on my last chapter. I actually rewrote it this morning, and I've listened to the entire book. It's 313 pages at last count. And so I'm listening and going through and making, okay, stop, fix this. And the editing process, AI help, everything makes the whole book just far, far easier to do. So it took 12 days to write it, about 12, 15 days to do a really decent edit. And then this past week doing the audio listening to the book and getting those last tweaks out of it. So my next phase is beta readers. And then next week I'll have a proofing party here at the house where I'll have people come over. I'll give them random chapters, a red pen, and say, tell me what doesn't make sense. Because that's more important to me than having something grammatically and spelling and diction and syntax. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. And that's the important part, just having random eyes look at it.
That sounds like a fun time at your home. Red, how can people purchase your book? Again, when will it be available and what outlets will be carrying it?
Okay, initially, my website will have it, redolaughlin.com, Barnes & Noble, KBR, Kindle. There'll be an ebook version. There'll be a paperback version, both available on July 4th. So if you're an Amazon person, that's where you need to go. If you're watching me on these TV stations, I'll be more than happy to give you links. But my redolaughlin.com will definitely be a place to go to order that book or any of the other ones that I have.
Fantastic. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure being here on your show to interview you about your new book. And I thank you. I'll let you close out the show. I really appreciate you. And I know this book is going to be a huge success.
Okay. As I'm closing out, if you're watching the show on YouTube, we have 2 channels that we'd love to have you subscribe to: USA Global TV and Radio and Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, both on YouTube. Please, if you're not subscribing, please, we'd really appreciate it. My next show coming up in literally about 19 minutes is called The Wise Ones. And then I have another show immediately following that where my topic is, why is adaptability not enough? And I talked about adaptability last week on the show. And there's, depending on whether you're looking at adaptability in your health or adaptability in your business, same word, slightly different meanings. And depending on what level of success you're looking for, just having adaptability may not be enough. That I'm leaving you with, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Take care, y'all. Bye now.
How much of your value have you been giving away? Saying yes when the answer should have been no? Lowering your price to secure the opportunity? Giving more while receiving less? Over time, it adds up. Until one moment brings clarity, you've been giving away your value. This is not about working harder. This is not about doing more. It's about boundaries. It's about pricing. It's about respect. From Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck comes a direct and necessary message. Stop over-delivering. Stop underpricing your expertise. Stop negotiating against yourself. Because when you recognize your value, everything changes. Stop giving away your value. Boundaries, pricing, and the business of respect. Available now wherever fine books are sold and on Amazon. A film by USA Global TV and Radio. Executive producer Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Videographer and cinematic production Paul Garcia. Voiceover by Ed Vargas. Stop giving it away. Start owning it.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Tracy Cram Perkins, a dementia caregiving survivor teaching how to balance care with peace of mind. #1 resource for dementia caregivers. It's the book Dementia Home Care: How to Prepare Before, During, and After. Over 17,000 copies sold of this must-have guide. And now a testimonial from Tracy Smith.
If I was to describe this book to someone who is going through a similar situation, I would underscore how important it is to have some sort of a tool or a guidebook to help you through certain stages. And there's so many, it's such an unknown topic to the average person. And to have this as a reference is essential. It's going to help you get through it personally, as well as help your loved one manage.
To learn more, go to TracyCramPerkins.com. Tracy Cram Perkins is an award-winning author. She's also the host of Dementia Home Care television show. Watch it here on USA Global TV and Radio.
Hey you, psst, yes you, watching this right now. Are you creating content, a blog, a podcast, a newsletter, going live on Instagram or TikTok, and still not seeing real visibility or growth? Here's why. Anyone can post, anyone can go live, but not everyone is positioned to be taken seriously. Right now, people are going to YouTube to search for experts, for answers, for credibility. So while you're putting in the work, someone else is being seen as the authority. Not because they know more, because they're positioned better. Now imagine this, your own professionally produced TV show, marketed, distributed, optimized with SEO so people can actually find you. Not just seen, but searchable, discoverable, positioned. You're trained, you're coached, you're guided. No experience necessary, but you do have to be coachable, because this is about stepping into a higher level, This isn't about doing more, it's about doing it right. We've already built the platform, 2 YouTube channels, a global audience, a Silver Creator Award. So the question is, how much longer are you going to rely on temporary visibility when you could be building real authority? If you're ready to be seen differently, go to usaglobaltv.com and apply to host your own show. This is for individuals who are serious about investing in their visibility, their credibility, and their growth. If that's you, we're ready. USA Global TV and Radio, where your voice becomes your platform. Executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Videographer, Paul Garcia. Voiceover, Ed Vargas. All rights reserved. This production is the exclusive property of the USA Global TV and Radio and may not be reproduced, distributed, or used without written permission.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.